Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Damian Borba. I'm Pacto founder and CEO. And today we're here with awesome surfers, awesome friends to talk about Waco. The goal here is to really share all that we know about the details of the way for people trying to learn how to do things there and how to get there. So we're going to start like, since the traveling aspects, we're going to go all the way to very specific tips for the private sessions, for example. And Waco has an amazing staff: Mike, Amy, Brian, Rob, taking awesome pictures all the time, Jacob. Everyone there is so nice that it's really nice to share our experience about that. So let's go around and introduce ourselves. So let's start with Gabriel. You want to share your name, your age, and your experience with Waco?
So my name is Gabriel Diaterujo. I'm 15 years old, and I love going to Waco a lot. I think I've been there about 5 times, and I love going because it's just such perfect training right now. And there's no
Oh,
waves at home, or it's just so perfect. You can redo every maneuver you want to try. You can try new things. You can learn. So I love going there because it's a really good training aspect.
that's awesome. Jess, you want to go next?
Yeah, hey, Jesse Trowbridge. I grew up in California surfing. My uncle is John Peck, this really old school surfer guy. He used to surf pipeline on big longboards. So that was really
Mm.
influential in my surfing life. Um, my wife was deployed to Killeen, Texas, which is right near Fort Cavazos, formerly Fort Hood. So if there's any military watching, shout out. Um, it's about an hour drive for me to get to Waco. We have small kids. So for me, Waco just was this perfect opportunity to get my little kids into surfing in like a safe and controlled way. Like Gabriel saying, the waves are repetitive, like perfect every time. So it's really easy for little kids to learn that, and they don't have to worry about sea urchins and sharks and all the bad fish out there. So yeah, excited about the podcast. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. Adam?
What's up, guys? I'm Adam Knox. I got 10-year, former pro surfer and full-time professional surf coach. So I've been out to Waco probably, I don't know, 15 times, something like that. With just, the first time I went out there, I was sitting out there by clients. So I call that wall right there the Widowmaker. That's where I sit there and sweat to death and film and yell at people. And but no, just as like a former pro, and I still on the level. Love the wave as like, I mean, it's just like like your favorite little beach break at home or something that just constantly pumping, and it's super fun to share waves with your friends and family, and then also to have people on the wall, cheering you on, that kind of stuff. I always love that kind of stuff to do, you know, do stuff and try and impress your friends and compete and that kind of stuff. Damo, we've done that.
Yeah, yeah.
You broke your foot off, but anyways, love the place. I love Texas, and I love America. So sick.
Yeah, no, and one fun fact, I was always like a super average surfer, and I did contests, amateur contests, pretty much my whole life. I surfed for like 30 years now. I'm 42, so a long time. And when I was here in Ocean, I live in Oceanside. I was doing the local contest, and then I hired Adam as a coach, and I got so much better. Like, and this is also the gist of Pactor, like why I started the company, right? Because I saw, oh, with video reviews, the right coaching and annotations, you can see so more, you can do so much better. That year, it was 2019. I was 39 years old. I was able to win U.S. Surfing Nationals with Adam. It was pretty amazing. Going from a very okay surfer to national champion was awesome, and a lot of like Waco progress too. Like you can do so much there, right? You can fix so many problems by just repeating it, right? And I think we can go over that. So let's get started here. And you all are welcome to share your thoughts. So Waco, kind of the middle of Texas there. How do you guys get there? And what's your favorite route?
I
Whoever wants to
like
go first.
So most of the time we go through Austin Airport, We go just right from Austin because it's about like 15-30 minutes shorter from Dallas. There's a couple of nice
Nice.
restaurants along the way to stop if you get hungry. It's a pretty straight shot. You can see there's not a lot of like chaotic going on. As you start getting closer, it's
Yeah. How about you, Jesse?
Well, right now I live in Killeen, so it's just a quick, hour drive, very little traffic. But I do have friends being from California who come out. They all have flown through Fort Worth. And to kind of echo what Gabriel was saying, Fort Worth's cool because you can get direct flights pretty much from anywhere, which is nice on the airport side. But I've had multiple times friends get delays with rental cars, they get stuck in traffic and stuff. So there might be some wisdom in his Austin comment.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
always go to. I mean, we always did Dallas, right? Every time I've gone there,
I tried everything.
I heard it was like the exact same from Austin or from Dallas to Waco, from Austin to Waco. But we have a friend in Dallas, so we got hooked up. So I think that's why we started going that way. But usually, I'm kind of like in the passenger seat, and I just kind of go. So,
Yeah, this friend is Andy. I don't know if you guys
yeah,
Andy Silverman. Like I never forget. Like my first time there, he was so helpful. He taught me like every detail about the waves, and he's like his progress too. Like it's crazy. He's doing like
Mm.
nice carves right now, and it's nice to see how doesn't matter how old you are, right? You can always have a ton of fun there, and it's a very amazing place. And how about the checking process? So this is the pool, right? You get somewhere here, right? And then you walk here.
Yeah, I mean, I can. So there's two parking lots. There's like the front parking lot, which is right by the Waco Hotel. That's kind of the preferred one. If you have private sessions or you're doing lodging on site, then they'll have someone like uh, kind of like a gatekeeper for that parking lot in the middle of the day. If you have, like I said, private session or you're on site, you just tell them and let you park there. Otherwise, you park. It's actually behind. You kind of have it in your picture here. It's like be on the far left. There's a second lot that if you're late in the day or it's crowded or a weekend, yeah, exactly, you'll park over there. And then once you park, you just go in. It's like the first floor of the hotel, and you go to the front desk and tell them who you are, and they give you your wristband and confirm your sessions.
Yeah, have you guys stayed here in those cabanas?
I've stayed in. Yeah, I've actually stayed probably in almost every lodging they have. I've stayed in the
Oh,
hotel.
nice.
I've stayed in the cabins. I stayed in the roadhouse. I have not stayed in the lake house. It's the only one I haven't stayed in.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is my favorite, like when you get to stay and you can see the waves, and especially
Yeah.
if it's facing this side. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I used to do like Airbnbs around too, like, and there's a nice holiday in the city that it's like 10, 15, like 11 minutes, I think, from here. But yeah, but my favorite is here, especially to watch the waves and do anything. And then in terms of what the park is, right? You have parking lots around. You have some cabins here. This is the cable for like wakeboarding and a
mhm.
lot of things. This is a crazy water slide that I've never done. Have you guys done this one?
I
My
haven't, I
kid,
haven't done that one either.
my
I've
kids
done that
love it.
one. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that one. So fun.
I heard so many like like tough experiences. Like, maybe not needed. Like, I'll save my bones for the wave. But yeah, it's huge. It's insane. There's another picture later that I can show, and then you have the lazy river around, right? So especially during like weekends, you see a ton of people like drinking and listening to music, and
The,
it's insane.
yeah, the one comment on the lazy river is it's like just over 40 minutes to go around. So just know that when you
Wow.
guys are there, like if you have something to be somewhere in a half an hour, don't do the lazy river. It takes a while. Yeah. It's really cool, but just it takes some time.
Does it really?
It's
Does
amazing.
it
Yeah.
just go around? Because I mean, I guess it's going pretty slow.
They don't
So
move it real fast. Yeah, that's why.
that's
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's crowded, like especially in the summertime, it's crazy crowded. It's a lot of people, and it's fun to watch. It's like you go from a very healthy scenario to like these people floating and drinking.
Drunk. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
it's like yin and
And
yang.
then yeah, and then the way the waves work, right? So this is the main area here where all the waves take place. And um, last year they used to do 3 sets, right, per per time, like per run, and 3 waves per set, and 9 people in the water. Remember, it was up until last year. Now they're doing 12, right? In the public session, 12 people
Hmm.
and 4 waves per set, right? That's what's happening right now. And it starts with right. So they go this way first. It's used to be 30 minutes of rights and then 30
It's,
minutes of
it
lefts.
still
Now
is.
it's
Yeah.
different. But I
Yeah.
think it's different,
Oh,
isn't
they
it? Like
changed it.
I think it's longer, like an hour and a half now. Like
I
when I
think
was
that's
Oh,
there,
the pro
that's the
sessions.
pro. Yeah.
Yeah,
pro session. What is the pro session? I did that and I thought it was for every time.
I've done them, but Gabriel's done more than me. So
Yeah. So the pro session, it's 30-minute. It's 30-minute segments. The first one, it's the normal 3-wave set, and then you do airs for 30 minutes, and then you do barrels for 30 minutes.
Oh, so in my case, I think it was different. I went with the country club surf club guys, and
Hmm.
we did 45 minutes of rights and 45 minutes of lefts, 4 waves per set. That's why I was confused, but that was probably because it was private
Yeah, I
the
think
whole
so. I
day.
think the country club did all privates.
They
and
probably
the,
That
asked for
was
the
that.
oh, good.
Oh, I was just thinking that they probably requested that. They probably didn't want to do the air section and everything else.
yeah.
The,
The air
the
section
one
is
other
pretty hard.
yeah, the one other thing I'll say about the pros is that it's 90 minutes of all lefts or all rights.
Yeah.
They're 90-minute bookings and it's just one way the whole time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So we have public sessions, which is 1 hour, right? 30 minutes, 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And then the pro session is this longer one, right? That only goes one way. And then we have the private sessions. And in the private sessions you can book for 1 hour and then it's you can do whatever you want there, right?
So yeah, the private sessions, there's like you can ask for if you book one, you can ask for the wave selection guide. It's like a 5-page PDF. There's like 15 or 20 different waves that they can do. Well worth it. If you can scratch the money together, it's really fun. So
It's
How
fun.
much
Like
is it?
how much is it?
How much is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the season. In the summer, after taxes and everything, it's like just over $2,500 an hour, which seems like a lot, but if you split it with like 6 or 8 people, it's like $300 or $400 a person. More expensive than the public sessions, but you get a lot more waves and you get better waves.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have another picture here of a more like vertical view. This is old, super old, before they had construction and everything.
Yeah.
But here is where you have the air chambers, right, where the waves get created. Uh, you first go right, and then you go left. And it varies. You're like if you have wave one is different than wave two, and it's different than wave three, and it's different than wave four, right? It's all different. What's your favorite wave? Like maybe one by one. Gabriel, what's your favorite wave?
I gotta say wave 2 because it's like the most like prime of the waves. It's not too much water moving, but it's also not like unnaturally glassy to where you're almost like tripping out a little bit. But you can still like get that ocean feel and do a lot of different maneuvers. So 2 has got to be my go-to.
That's awesome. Before we get to like a wave, let me show you this. So I'll bring up an image from Jesse that he shared with me just to talk about a couple things. So as you get there and you see the wall, you see there are numbers on the wall, right? So all these numbers are there. And this is Jesse surfing longboard. Which wave is this one and which kind of session?
This looks like an intermediate wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you can see the numbers, and then you gotta pick the like the number, right, to catch the wave. And I have one here from Gabriel, I think. Let's see. Yes. So you can see he's going number one here, right? So it goes from straight flat to all of a sudden this bounce comes at you. And he's probably in between 5 and 4. Is that right, Gabriel?
Yeah, just a little bit up, like almost like exactly at 5. The angles are a little weird, but I'm at exactly 5 on this wave.
Perfect. Uh, any recommendations on like you guys? What's your favorite position to start?
I could talk about that for a while.
Yeah, it's a lot of preference in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean, if the podcast is for people who are going for the first time, if you're doing like a regular advanced session on a short board, like 5.5, 6 is a good spot, and you really got to remember to point your board towards the beach. Like you're gonna ride parallel to the wave to the wall. Like you're gonna ride parallel to the wall, but to catch the wave, you need to point your board towards the beach. And I feel like in a lot of the public sessions I do, I see people miss waves often because they don't point their board towards the beach. So
Hmm.
And it's the beach that's across from you, not the beach that's in front of you. So it's
Yeah.
actually this direction, that way. Well,
Here, right? Kind of
that
this
way.
way.
So when you say
Uh-huh.
the beach, it's actually the beach across, like at a 45-degree angle.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
it's very
I like to
tricky,
take
right?
off underneath it if I can. I'll take off underneath it. And my favorite wave is wave 3 because wave 3 I feel like has more sections to me, so I can hit more. It's hard to square up out there. Like there's like a pocket that you can't really leave. Like to like climb uphill to get out of the pocket, and for me to like fade away and try to come up into the lip, you're either gonna get like hit in the throat or not. But yeah, on wave 3, I feel there's more like it's more imperfect, so more sections to hit, and there's a little
Mhm.
barrel section at the end, I guess. So,
Yeah.
And
but
this
wave
this
1's
is
super clean. I don't know. Everyone wants wave 1. I feel like all the
Yeah, I feel like wave
Yeah.
1. I agree. It's the cleanest. I feel like it usually doesn't have quite as much oomph as waves 2 and 3 because it doesn't have that wave in front of it to help
jack
it
up.
stand up. Yeah, but wave 1 is definitely the cleanest.
I've had some like little like arguments with a guy that just wants to go on one. I'm like, look, dude, we got to rotate. He's like, dude, I can't get wave 2, and I'm like, well, you're gonna have to go over the falls, buddy, because we got to take turns. There's rules out here.
Yeah.
I think what's nice to highlight here is that the wave is pretty powerful, right? Like it's not like huge in terms of size, but it's
Uh,
crazy powerful, right? It
I
pushes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a how do I say this in like language? It's like a 12 or 13-second wind swell that's breaking over a really steep sand bottom. So like Newport River jetties is an example of a wave I think that it rides like. It's not like a big like ground swell like heavy wave, but it's very vertical and has a really, like Adam said, a really tight pocket.
Yeah, it reminds me of a wave up here called Solomar, like on a wind swell, like you were saying.
Yeah.
On high tide, it reminds me. I mean, it's almost identical to that, but it barely breaks. So I probably shouldn't have said that.
And this the end of the wave, right? It's pretty shallow too, like and
Very shallow. Yeah.
Yeah, I
people
slide on my forearms the whole time, just.
But it has like since when they started the 4-wave set, they filled it up more than it was before. So now it's got some more water under it, so it's not as shallow. But like when it starts sucking that water, it's definitely still shallow.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
with the-
people surf. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. With the 4-wave set, just because I've never seen that and I haven't been there since. I guess I haven't been there since last year, but so there's 4 waves now, and they had 3 before because it got too, the water got messed up, right? It got too full.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So is the 4th wave all like?
I don't like wave 4 as a guy on a single fin with like a 12-inch fin. Like wave 4 to me is just too junky. But shortboarders love it because it's got all the sections and stuff they can use. Yeah.
I was about to say
It's like
wave
3,
4.
but worse, but better. So like.
So let me get this video from Adam here, and so we're gonna get this link from YouTube, and it's gonna paste it there. Let's play. So this is us there. But I think before they changed it. So I was testing this new board, and yeah, let's see. I want to show Adam. I don't want to show myself too much, but this board was pretty nice. So this is another thing that it's interesting. I'll keep it playing. So for this kind of, this is Adam. You don't need the same like thickness and area, right, of a regular board when you're surfing Waco, right? What do you guys think? What's your take on that?
So I'd say shorter than you would ride in the ocean, but almost like similar, if not a little more liters, just because it's freshwater. So just to counteract that a little bit, you're not going to have as much float as you would in the ocean.
I would say like your tail rocker, more tail rocker. Like the board you ride at Trestles is not going to be super fun at Waco Surf because you have to get vertical. Like you have to turn it hard and get back up that face. You don't have a lot of long shoulder to work with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I've ridden like normal boards there the whole time, and this is the only time I was on like one of his dark arts that felt good out there. But yeah, I felt like just you could ride a normal board. I mean, it kind of looks cool out there as well. But yeah, you want to be able to fit. So if you had a little bit of more rocker, you'd be able to fit better in the pocket and kind of wrap and that kind of thing. But I've ridden some normal boards, some 510s, 511s. It felt fine. So it just depends.
Yeah, I paused here because I saw something that's interesting. Right, there are different takes, like different ways of surfing the wave. In my experience, whenever I start more patient, like I instead of just trying to go down and do a big turn here, a bottom turn, if you stay high at a high line a little longer, you can then go down. And Adam does that here, and I think that helps a little bit. So just getting that extra push, right? What do you guys think? How do you like surfing that wave?
For wave one, I agree. You gotta like almost like high line because wave one builds up as you go. But I feel like when you're riding like wave two, three, or four, you almost want to take advantage of that first clean section because as the wave starts going, it's gonna start bouncing and getting unclean. So I feel like on wave one, you can like wait that little bit, but the later waves, it's definitely gonna get a little messier, a little chunkier.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
want to watch this again.
on the left there's like it's different than the right. There you get up and there's like a dead spot in the wave. Like as you right when you get up, you got to wait like maybe like 4/1000s before you do that first turn. I always try to rush the first turn and it's not there yet. So on that one, you saw me kind of like I don't know, just wait a second, I guess. But I feel like on the left there's like right when you get up, there's like you got to wait like again like another 3/1000s before you actually do the first turn. And I think that's on all the waves, like just on the lefts, 1, 2, or 3. But I don't know. You guys feel that as well? Like, you ever try to force something right there and it's not ready yet?
Yeah, I agree.
Fog.
Yeah, this is something in terms of practice and improvements. I just want to mention this because I have to. Gabriel started surfing 2 years ago. It took me
Uh,
it took me 30 years to surf. Like,
Yeah.
and his let me show one wave that I got from him
was
this
that
week.
Gabriel surfing just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, just now. This is I think was this one that has kind of a compilation that I got from his dad, Luis. Um, this is the private session, right? The air section. He did a Superman. 2 years into surfing. That's
Lands
insane.
it.
Yeah, like I look at this, right? Like it's and Adam and I like we surfed the airwave multiple times. It's hard. Like it takes time to get used to it, right? People think, oh, I'm gonna go to the wave pool. Doing an air there is super easy, but it's not.
Yeah.
I've never done that one. I don't know what that one's called, but I just see like
That
the
one's the sissy sauce. That's the Mason Ho one.
yeah, that one looks sick. I want to do that one super bad. The other one the one that I did had like the normal air one has a pretty gnarly section on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it the first time I ever went there with the crew, like the people that work there, Brian and those guys, at night, and I couldn't see anything. I was mistiming, almost killed myself.
Yeah.
And I did it again the other morning with the boys again, and I was almost killed myself. So something you gotta. I mean, that one I sent out to the flats pretty large. You know, my tail was probably like 5, 6 feet in the air, but
Mm-hmm.
it was sketchy for sure.
Yeah, no,
You can't see with those lights at night at all either. So it's too
yeah.
much.
Well, how'd you get? Well, what was your progress there, Gabriel? Like how did it start? And like especially the air. I'm very curious because in less than 2 years you're doing Supermans. Like, what was your story there?
So the first time we went there, it's pretty early when I started surfing. I'd say about like coming into like my first year. So we heard about it. It's like a wave pool in Texas. So I went there with my friends just to try it out, and we loved it. It was so much fun. The waves were so good. The training was unbelievable. So then we started going back a lot, and then we had heard about the privates, and that was when I was starting airs, like little airs. So I did my first one, and then from there I just every 2 or so months we'd go back, just really quick, like a week or so, and we do plenty of sessions just to get all the training and the repetitions in on the maneuvers that you can't normally get in the ocean.
This is
How do you feel that carries over to back to the ocean? Does that throw you off at all when you go back and there's not as much pump, or sorry, not as much like power and stuff like that when you get home? Do you feel a little bit weird in the lineup, like paddling for waves and stuff like I do, or?
So I like obviously it's a little weird, like catching the wave is different, having to like read the wave before you pop up. But the way like I train it there, it's like I'm training not to surf the wave, but for the maneuver itself.
Mhm.
Like I'll train the one maneuver, and it's not like what's it called? The posture, like the proper movement is going to change between a wave pool and a normal wave.
Right.
As long as you do the right form, it'll carry over very nicely.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not really it's not gonna make your wave IQ any better, anything like that in the ocean. It's not gonna make you survive when it gets heavy, but it will make you good at tricks and just all around technique and that kind of stuff. You can get good
Technique. That's the word. That's what Waco's for. Technique. You're still gonna have to put plenty of hours into the ocean, but this is gonna help you get your technique down faster than you normally would.
Definitely for like beach breaks and stuff. When it comes to like say point waves and stuff, your technique's gonna be all jacked up, just like everybody else, just because it's all about flowing and like how I cut my turn short and stopped before the ball where when I would have came up normally at the top, but I didn't want to get sent over into the concrete. So I don't even know can you guys roundhouse and like hit the top?
Barely on the left sometimes, but there's so the point break comment. There is a wave setting that's only available in privates that's called 3-set close. That is it's a legit point break wave. It's not, I mean, it's the length of the pool. It doesn't go like hundreds of yards like some point breaks do, but it's fast, it's racy, it's steep. It's like, and it's got a little bit more of a shoulder. So
and at the end, it almost has a little steeper crumble.
A barrel thing. Yeah.
No way. Yeah. I'm just saying like all around, like you can get good at off the lips, you can get good at like snaps, laybacks, fin drifts, all that stuff. But like to like actually link things together, go over sections, take high lines, use like conjunctional maneuvers to actually set yourself up for the next thing. Your technique's not going to be great there. Just like mine wasn't when I went to El Salvador.
The wave's not long enough for that.
Right.
I'm just being honest. Yeah.
100%. I was in El Salvador. There's a mag right here. But anyways, I was on the back cover and I got the middle as well and everything else. But this guy right here, Zach Plopper, who's on the cover, he looked, everyone thought I was the best surfer there, but they thought he flowed the best on the points. And I was like trying to figure it out. But I was from Carlsbad where it was all beach breaks, even though I'm kind of originally from Ventura. But he like linked everything together, even though my turns were gnarlier and my airs were gnarlier. Everybody liked his flow better. So that was just something that came to mind.
Yeah, flow is insanely important.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna ask you, like, in this, like, a ton of lessons that we got, how many backside waves did you guys miss? I tried to
The first, I have this joke. I always miss my first left. I always miss catching my first left, no matter what I do.
I definitely thinking about it. I've missed a couple for sure. I don't know, like right off the bat. Only a few, like 3 probably. But
so, in my defense, like typically in the afternoons, the left has offshore wind, so that also changes the takeoff a little bit. And if you were just going from the rights, where you would have directly onshore wind, now you're going to an offshore wave on the left. It does. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, I really believe that the tip here for people surfing there for the first time is, if you surf your front side and it went super well, when you go for your first backside wave, pedal like twice as hard, right? Because you will miss it if you keep the same pace. That's guaranteed, right? And I see Brian here. Let's say hi to Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Yeah, he's also Texas local. Happy to have you here. Feel free to share your thoughts when we ask these questions. So this is the left, right? So I don't know why it looks like there's less water. I don't know, like less steepness. I don't know why exactly, but it's almost like you have to even be more distant from the wall for the back for this one for the left. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's personal opinion almost. It's like what you can do that matters, because like if you're like ripping really hard, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to like select where you want to go. Like Noel in this video, he can go like super deep on it and still be able to catch it. But it's also like sometimes you want to try a different maneuver so you go a little closer to the wall rather than off it. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely a difference between the right and the left for sure.
See how he
That's
did that,
true.
like set up, high line, and then did the turn. That's what I was talking about, like that pause. Like on the right, you can almost just go right to work, you know. But he's got to set up there, just like I was saying. Sometimes I will make the mistake and I'll do a turn right off the bat, and then I almost get hung up. I got to like, you know, get back over the ledge.
Yeah, we have Rick. Hi, Rick. Welcome.
How's it going?
Good.
All
Let me show you our clips. We're just trying to get as much as possible knowledge about Waco as possible. Rick is a good friend. He won the national title, the same title that I mentioned. I won once. He won 15 now. Like your last was 15.
I got like 7 USA championships and 8 NSSA nationals.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
So
So this is
15
Rick's.
total.
Yeah, Rick is also like he went there a lot. He went there with us for the first time, right? And then he got hooked. Now, every time he wants to go back, it's so fun, right? Because you can really practice. And what's your favorite wave there, Rick?
You know, one's always kind of weird. You know, it's right like they were saying, it's right to the point. You got to get at it a little bit more, and the rest of them you can kind of do like a little cutties, and um, then lean into your bottom turns a little bit more. I like the second, third, and fourth one now because you can come behind a whitewash a little bit more and really get into the pocket. And usually start off with like a little check turn, and then start loading up on your bottom turns a little bit more. The first one you just kind of get at it, go straight into your turns front side, and backside is always like you guys say a little bit different. I think because I'm so tired from going front side for half hour that you're going backside now, and you're just kind of trying to get your feet again.
That's another like super important point that I want to hear your thoughts, everyone, about like how intense the waves are. Like I remember surfing 3 days there, 3 4 hours per day. I could barely walk when I went back home. I was so tired. And you don't get the same kind of like hits on your body like that, right? So what's your experience in getting tired there?
Yeah, I work. If I know I'm going to Waco, I try to make sure that I'm doing at least 30 turns a session and trying to get X amount of waves per session. So I know I'm getting that at least, it's hard to, do that in an hour, obviously, but at least get your leg strength up. And I'm always, doing some weight training with squats and deadlifts and stuff beforehand, and a lot of hill repeats just to get the physicality, just because it's, you're getting a perfect look at a lip every time, and you get a real bottom turn every time, I feel. And I
Yeah.
was and I was talking to my friend. I feel like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when you're at the top, it's almost like you have to use your legs a little more to drive down the face more than a normal wave that's like
Yeah.
kind of pushing you. So I feel like it takes a little bit more out of your legs in the ocean.
Yeah, I would just say don't do back-to-back sessions. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm fine. Like for the hour left and right, I feel better on the lefts. But if I back to back it, that's just too much. Like give me an hour in between, and then I'll surf all day. But I acclimate pretty quick, even if I'm fat or whatever. I'll make it happen. But yeah, I just those back to backs are just gnarly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
What do you
recommend.
think? What do you think, Brian? You're an expert in going there. What's your take?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the back-to-backs are fun. Like in the spring and in the fall, it's fine. The summer, it's hard because it's just so hot. And then same thing in the winter. It gets so cold there that yeah, I save my back-to-backs for spring and fall as much as I can. But I mean, when sessions are up for grab this though, it's whatever you can get, you get. So if I got to go back-to-back, I take whatever I can get because it's hard to get sessions, you know.
Hmm.
It's awesome.
I
Yeah. Go ahead, Gabriel.
I I agree with Brian because when it gets really hot, it's like so tiring than like a normal session. But when it's like kind of cooler day, like back to backs in like the morning and then in the evening, those are like really good because like you can, and it's like really good for like pushing really hard too, like pushing yourself through it. So I really like back to backs, but I agree. Like if you do one in the afternoon, you're gonna be fried the rest of the day.
How about you, Jesse, on the longboard?
Yeah, I don't have a hard time doing lots of sessions. I've done 3-4 hours in a row, even in the summer, but it gets hot. It definitely gets hot. Um, on the hot subject, like if you're traveling to Waco, like the water in the summer will be close to 90 degrees. So wax your board appropriately. You don't want to show up with cool water wax. It'll just turn into liquid
That's a
and you'll be
great
slipping.
point. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we joke around about how badly they need to install like an awning off the wall, like 15 feet, so that like everybody near under the wall can be in the shade in the summer because it's like the sun beats on you, man. It's yeah.
Yeah, the wax thing is a very big one. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, if you, yeah, you have to now because I have to wear booties after my injury. I don't suffer from that too much. I can save on wax. But I remember the days of like, yeah, you have to. They melt like pretty quickly, especially if you do it back to back. You have to, in my opinion, you have to have a little piece in your pocket so you can do it in between. And maybe people will be curious, like, what do you think about the bottom? Like, I remember uh, having no idea getting there, like what the
It's
bottom is, and doing some
yeah.
wrong things.
I could so yeah. It's concrete, but they have to redo it. Like they close for I don't know all the details, but they close for a couple weeks in the off season to redo the concrete because it takes such a beating from the waves hitting it. So the concrete is like it's not real smooth most of the year. Like it's rough under there. It's like the little rocks in the concrete are sticking up, like little ones. And so it's kind of like sandpaper. So it's abrasive. Like if you fall and like hit it, like you'll get a little bit of a road rash if you don't have a rash guard on. Your toes will get a little roughed up. So yeah, it's not like a reef, but it isn't super friendly.
Yeah, I'd say just like cover up. I mean, if you're gonna go get sucked into the lip at all, it's only like this deep or so. You ready to slide on your forearms like this? My buddy didn't cover up. I told him like, dude, just cover your head and you'll be good. Like just roll around with it. But he got cut to the bone, like 6 inches across his forehead, like looked like Frankenstein. And he must have hit like a little ridge or something. It wasn't a fin, it was the bottom. So I don't know how that perfect cut happened, but there's
Jeez.
also like little ridges, or was. Do you guys remember those? Like, I don't know if it was like sheet plastic on the bottom or something,
Yeah.
but it's kind of, it was
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 years ago. So it's kind of back before the new owners
There's
bought it.
there's a couple, like 1 or 2 spots, but it's
Yeah.
not really where you would fall. But there are 1 or 2 spots that have like a
I,
something
I,
on the bottom.
I believe the biggest recommendation is play safe, right? Don't jump like head first.
Yeah.
Really protect your head. It's very easy to get hurt, right? The wave is pretty powerful, and you will hit the bottom, not in a bad way, but you will hit the bottom all the time. And yeah, I've seen people just being like too aggressive, too crazy, going like for like crazy things with no like care, like, and then they just got hurt. I think
The,
other
the
places.
barrel wave in the pro session, like extreme caution, guys. I'll say that.
Yeah, this is that barrel, right? And it's even more shallow at this point, right? To get that wedge. So if
Very
you,
shallow.
Yeah, it breaks like way inside, like not where the normal wave breaks. It's like a combination of 2 waves together. It makes an A-frame, and I stopped doing it because it's just too hairy for me.
Yeah. So
I have. Go ahead. Go
this
ahead.
is the wave that when I did it with the boys at night or whatever, they're like, come out and do the the worker session or whatever. And they're like, hey, yeah, they're like, Knox, you want a barrel? And I was like, yeah, cool. They're like, all right, be like 3 feet off the wall. And then a wave came and I paddled for it and it took me like 12 feet from the wall, but that wasn't the wave. That was like the wave that sucks up for the next wave. So I was like 10 feet away from the wall, took off behind it, no speed. Thing just picked me up. I cartwheeled in front of it. It picked me up and it slammed me on my ass in like this shallow water. The splits, broke my tailbone, and literally thought I died. Like super afraid to like go to the bathroom. I thought I was bleeding.
Yeah.
It was fucking gnarly. Oh, you may want to put that out. But I almost died out there.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I remember Rick in his first time together. Remember, Rick, you got too excited with the backside barrel as well. And then
Yeah,
I think
I separated my shoulder, got a little greedy, and went over the falls and landed on my shoulder. First I got the cut on my wrist because I tried to roll it out, and then hit the wrist, the elbow, and then I tried to roll it out, and it's kind of so rough. I didn't slide, and stuck on my shoulder and separated it.
Yeah, I hit and just went into the splits. It was gnarly. I guess I was on Surfline or something. Like I was probably crawl out of the pool. Dude. I thought I broke my back, and I still kind of have a back issue.
Gosh.
I did.
I had a buddy who on his second wave, it wasn't a barrel wave, just a second wave. He did the same thing. Like he landed square on his butt and collapsed the disc.
Yeah, like I was sliding.
He's okay.
Upside down, and it picked me up backwards. So I took a backflip and then slammed.
You're like in the barrel, like upside down, your head sticking out into the top of the barrel, right?
I was sliding on my back, and
oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gone for that first wave. I would have been fine. I was like 10 feet too deep.
What else you guys recommend, like for people like not to do there? Like be careful, like the bottom. What else should they pay attention to?
There's snakes.
Snakes, yeah.
Rogue sometimes. They'll be in the pool cruising sometimes, and I don't know. What do you guys think about like everyone pretty cool out there in your guys' sessions, just taking turns and all that? Or do you guys get the guys every once in a while that?
But every once in a while that happens. Yeah. But like the crew at Waco, they have zero tolerance for people being complete dicks. So they just they get it's like they handle it real quick. So it's unlikely if you're there that you're gonna have somebody who's acting up.
And if someone is, there's always like a water patrol in there. You just let them know and they'll get straightened out.
Totally. I've only seen it once or twice, and I was just like, dude, I'm like, you crazy? Like, it was just because he couldn't get into the other waves, or he was too afraid of the other waves, so he just wanted one all the time. But he was like stuck to me, and I'm like, look, I don't really care, but rules, I think.
Yeah, this is fun. Like it's so exciting, right? You get so happy like by like having access to the waves that it's almost like you go back to this kid mode where you just want as much as possible, and then you become a little bit irrational, which is not very recommended. And then you start like,
and I also think like because people pay money, like you're paying for the session, you pay in addition to the regular travel you would pay to go on a surf trip. So there is like a more natural, like this is my wave, like I'm here, I own this attitude because they're paying for it. And I see that more with people who like come visit that aren't like regulars there. But you just kind of got to like let that fade, like let them have their couple waves and then hopefully they chill out. But I have that is pretty common.
And also like another thing to be careful with is people coming back, right? One thing that I didn't mention that's pretty useful. Let me load this image here so we can talk about that. So this is pretty unique, I think, to Waco. Like once the wave goes this way, right, and you catch a wave, you can just sit here and the rip current will take you back, right? So that's a very good thing. Like you don't have to keep paddling or going around to get to the beginning again. But then you got to be careful, right, as you surf here as you get back, because there are people there, right, and they are on their way sometimes.
Yeah, that's oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's awesome too, because on the way back out, if someone falls, you can get 2 for 1 and end up back at your spot and be ready. So that's usually you're never like, if you're a good surfer and you're good in the water, you know, like anybody else, like you heard Dane Reynolds and everybody else, we take tabs on everybody, like in the lineup at home, at the beach. We know who's gonna fall, we know who's not gonna go, we know who can't make waves, so we keep eyes on all these people and we know their patterns. So if this guy's been falling 6 times in a row, you know he's gonna fall again. So you're ready to turn and burn and go, and then you just get that wave and then a bonus wave, and then you're back at your spot for the time, and then you go again. So you never stop. So that's another thing that's pretty rad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see
It's
people
called
coming.
poaching, but
Yeah, the drop on the poach. If you poach, the drop is more fun than the
Deeper.
takeoff. Yeah,
totally.
that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you see people coming back. That's another big thing. So, and also like you can notice a lot of kind of scratches on the wall. I think it's from like the noses of boards kind of hitting. I don't know, but because it's concrete, right? Anytime you touch it, I remember getting excited entering the pool and then just jumping on my board and my fins like, and then I looked at the fins. They were like all flat, like yeah, you gotta be very careful there. And also with your knees, right? If you jump, running and all that, like it's gonna hurt big time. Um, this guy was trying to catch the wave, and again, the thing that we're talking about, missing the left, right? It's really hard. You gotta pedal more. And yeah, any other tips on like areas to be careful with?
The everyone there is so cool, but just like if to really have a good time, like make sure to follow the rules there too. There's like a big rule not standing on like that center ridge there, and like not like jumping in front of someone. If like when you're poaching, don't like poach if you think they're gonna fall. Make sure they fall. Don't like do that. Just the rules there are pretty mellow, but as long as you follow them, it's gonna be a really good time.
Totally. Also, it's super rad because like everyone's got like an assigned wave you're going on. Usually, right? Every session I've been in, it's like, okay, I'm one now, and now I'll be two next time, and so on and so forth. I hate hassling out in the ocean nowadays, as retired as a pro surfer and all that stuff. I hate it. So going here is actually really cool because you have to deal with that. It takes that whole thing out of the way, unless you get like some like just wacky dude or something in your thing. But besides that, it's rad because you just go and surf. It's super fun.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Adam was just saying. Like, it's cool to not have to compete for waves. I don't know. I'm sure for Gabriel, he can confirm this, but I feel like I over communicate because it really stinks when like you just assume that you're wave two, but someone else is also assuming that they're wave two. So like if you're in the lineup in an advanced session with 4 people or an intermediate with 3, like just every time before the set comes, I'm like, who's going what? And I just make everybody say what they're doing. And you'd be surprised how often there was like a conflict or like people were confused. It probably happens at least once a session. Like if I hadn't done that, someone would have missed a wave. So over communication's good. And then also like another thing I'll piggyback on what Adam's saying about sizing people up. If you size up the surfers, you can kind of control who's in your group because it's kind of determined at the beginning of the session. So if you get there 5 minutes early and you talk to the people, you can get yourself in a group that's advantageous for you.
Totally. I agree. 100%.
Go ahead, Brian. Any tips on things to avoid there, or Rick? Just before we get back to the good, positive things.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys pretty much covered most of it, but yeah, I don't know. The bottom used to be really rough, but two seasons ago, they went in and they did a bunch of work on the bottom. So like right now, like it's really not that bad. There's a couple areas like right at the very end of the wave where it gets kind of shallow over by the wall. You can still kind of get a little bit scuffed up on your feet or whatever, but for the most part, I think they fixed a lot of those issues um, 2 winters ago. So I don't know. And then on the left thing, I think that like I prefer to go left. For me, it's my backside. I surf better on my backside.
Me
And
too.
I think if you just like I never felt like I had to paddle harder. You just have to you got to angle a little bit more off the wall than you do on the rights. And then like I've never had any issues getting in on the lefts or the rights, but it's just a matter of the angling. So you kind of angle towards that last pavilion where they got that I think it's orange and yellow surfboard on the lefts, and then I mean I've always just popped right in, so no issues.
Yeah, that first yellow cabana.
Yeah. So on the right you angle towards the light pole, and on the lefts you're gonna angle just a little bit more towards that last little whatever they call it pavilion thing. So yeah.
Awesome. And now they have good food there, right? But in the past, it was up to you to find things, but now they're improving the service. There's music, so the whole like place is getting so much better. And for me, like I know this can sound bad and everything, but I used to go to Mexico every time to Oaxaca, to Huatulco, and then Barra and Salina Cruz every year. Now my surf trips are Waco. I go to Waco. It's guaranteed you're gonna get amazing waves.
There's people
And
from like Hawaii, California, like people come from Puerto Rico. Like it's crazy. People fly from like beautiful beaches to Waco to surf.
yeah, it's guaranteed, right? Good waves, no dealing with the crowd, as Adam was mentioning, and it's hard. Like we're getting spoiled. Like when I go to the ocean too, I surf lowers all the time. It's hard. It's like, oh man. Sometimes last time I was there, it took me 40 minutes to get a good one. 40, just like in that craziness of people, and it's insane.
Yeah, and Texas is rad too. Like there's so much good barbecue and just cool people. And I've gone and stayed at different places and different Airbnbs around there. There's a place that's just down the way. I forget what it's called, but it was like it's all developed by some developers that are also on TV or whatever. I'm forgetting what it's called right now, but super nice, super like awesome places to like go out.
Magnolia Farm.
Yeah, Magnolia.
Yeah, Chip and Diana Gaines, the Fixer Upper people.
Yeah, that's right.
It's in Waco. Yeah.
My chick's she's in the industry, so she was telling me all about it. She wanted to go there. We got a super cool Airbnb, and then like awesome like little wine bar and like cool like outdoor like music and all kinds of cool stuff. So super cool to check out, and yeah, love Texas. I'd move there for sure. So as long as there's a wave pool and some cool people, then it's all good.
Yeah, and this is another like important thing. If you go to Kelly's wave, for example, right? Each wave costs what, $500, and then if you miss it, it's like $500 disappearing. And I missed one there when I surfed there, so I know the feeling. It's horrible, and it's fun, right? Waco will be fun, guaranteed. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna progress. This is insane. Like Gabriel, he started surfing 2 years ago. Can you even, like, just because of course he's extremely talented, but the fact that he's being able to repeat and really practice there, look at that. He's doing like Supermans. I've never done one, and I surfed for 30 years. So it's insane where I think these wave pools are going to take us. Do you guys have any other favorite wave pools besides like any other good ones to recommend that you've tried?
No, I didn't even want. Oh, if it was free, I'd go to Kelly's, but it's just too expensive. And
I've only been to Waco, but I do want to just say, like, I'm super excited. I'm 42, right? So, like, in the next 15, 20 years, like, by the time I retire, hopefully, like, I'm hoping this industry, the wave pool industry, just explodes, and there's wave pools all over the place that I can go travel to and surf in my old age. So, super stoked that Waco is, like, leading the way with that, like, being one of the first ones. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Waco is my favorite above all. The only, like, other good one I've done is Wave Garden, the urban surf in Melbourne, but the waves like not as powerful. There's a lot more people in the session, but I definitely like Waco more than urban surf just because the wave quality and the people there. I'd say Waco is definitely the future.
Hey, Damien, you
Yes.
said you've never pulled a Superman. How many have you tried?
When I was younger, I tried like 4 times, I think, but I landed on my belly, and then it's like, that's it. Oh, that's it.
Right.
You gotta commit to it, right? You gotta be
Well,
like, if
Gabriel, how many have you tried? I mean, the wave pool, you're allowed to try as many times as you want, right? How many tries?
A lot,
right?
yeah.
I've done some Supermans. My buddy Ricky Whitlock used to do them all the time in the heats with Takahashi as well, in the Audio Pro Juniors and all that stuff. But yeah, it's something you got to try a bunch, and that's what the wave pool does. It gives you,
a bunch of attempts,
a whole bunch of tries. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been Rick and Brian. Did you guys surf other waves too besides Waco, another pool?
I haven't, but haven't you tried that? Didn't you go to Australia to try that plunger pool?
Yes. I was gonna mention that. But Brian, did you try any other wave besides Waco?
No, I live in Fort Worth, and so like Waco's pretty much my home break. I've been surfing it since the very first public session back in
Nice.
2018. So yeah, I mean I got kids and I got all kinds of stuff going on. I just don't have that get on a plane and go surf somewhere. It's 90-minute drive for me, and waves are perfect every time. And so yeah,
And Brian's
that's where I go.
Brian's really committed like to getting better, right, with skateboarding how old are you now, Brian?
Yeah, I'm 53 now. So
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
and
Yeah. So
I had a 15-year break, right? So I surfed for like 20 years, and then I met my wife. I moved to Fort Worth, and like I just like I didn't surf for like 15 years until Waco opened, and so it's really been it's very humbling, you know, like you remember being able to do it, and then so you just think, oh, I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to pick up where I left off, and it was very humbling. I really had to set my expectations lower and just say, you know what, I got to kind of just relearn some of this stuff, not everything, but yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun. Last 2 years, I've been working a lot, just on like body mechanics and really trying to improve my technique. Just because like I grew up, you know, surfing in the 80s and 90s, there was no internet, and so like you just kind of try and surf like your favorite surfer. You just go out and figure it out. There's no information, right? But now
that's
with the
awesome. Yeah.
internet, like there's so much available now. It's all there to help you get better. It's awesome. It's a great time to be surfing, and I'm like surfing my best at 53. So yeah,
That's
woo.
amazing. Same here, surfing my best at 42. And I surfed surf lakes in Australia last year in December to try it out. That they're still like not officially open. It's their prototype, and the wave is amazing. It's really like the ocean wave because you can really there's no wall. It's an open wave and it's powerful. And yeah, I think if we can stay healthy for the next couple of years, you're gonna have a ton of fun. You're gonna get better. Everyone, right? There's so like Palm Springs and Florida, like Virginia, all these different places with new pools. Brazil has a ton of new pools, and it's a great time, especially for young people like Gabriel, to really take it to the next level. And yeah, I cannot wait to see everything that people will do with it. Right, guys, I think that's it. Any last thoughts about Waco? All good. I think was very productive. We shared a ton of knowledge, and yeah, if you ever want to improve in Waco or any other place, you can talk to us on Pacto. We have Adam Knox here as a coach. We have Rick as a coach. You can always send them your clips, and they can help you. I'm working with Brian sometimes, reviewing his waves. Yeah. So anything you guys want, we're here for you, guys. Thank you very much for your time here, and stay in touch.
Right on. Thanks, Damon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.